They have, as you mentioned, a huge and very stingy defense. And obviously, we've talked about the weapons up front.
And it's just a gorgeous night in Dallas as well. 67 degrees on this Halloween evening. Along with Steve Lansdale and the entire ACC Network crew, I'm John Little. It is great to have you along. You are in for a treat tonight. First time that UVA and SMU have met up as ACC foes in this enormous league, but they do have a history against one another. 3-1 all-time SMU leads this series that goes back to 1987.
These are not just two of the best teams in the country. These are always two of the best teams in the country, and it's been that way for decades. The Cavaliers and the Mustangs always seem to pop up in the national rankings year after year after year, setting up what should be a fantastic regular season finale tonight.
And again, if you were just joining us, UVA has an opportunity to win the league outright if they can pick up 3 points tonight, as long as Cal makes Stanford drop points. And right now, they are in the 78th minute at Berkeley. Cal leads Stanford, the #1 team in the country, 1-0 right now. And what a win that would be for Cal, a team that has struggled through the back half of this season.
That would be a win that they would savor, the Golden Bears would savor on a lot of levels. One, as you said, they've struggled at times this year. Two, it's their most hated rival right across town. Cal and Stanford compete in every sport, and it is a huge game or huge match in every single sport. There's no school they like to beat more.
An early cross coming in from Clanton Pimentel, and it just skips by Jalen Mitchell. But SMU has been very dangerous the back half of this season. Ryan Clanton Pimentel, a big reason for that, and SMU averages almost 2.5 goals per game when they play at home.
Ryan Clanton Pimentel really changes the complexion of this team, because before he got into the starting lineup, it was Jalen Mitchell who was generally the guy that would come racing up the flank on one side or the other and attack a defender 1v1. But by having Clanton Pimentel in on the other side, now you have defense. You force defenses to be a little more honest and defend the same way on both sides. And if they do that, if they stick a wide defender outside on Clanton Pimentel on one side and Mitchell on the other side, then there's space to drive through the middle. So the presence of those two guys, as fast and creative and effective as attackers as they can be, it also opens up lanes for the interior, the guys in the interior of the field.
Meanwhile, for the Virginia Cavaliers, they've got some two-way players at those wing-back positions. It's going to be a great matchup, as here's the foul on Virginia. Jesus De Vicente at the left wing-back spot for Virginia. Alex Parvu has been fantastic. 6 straight starts for Parvu on that right wing back spot. So they'll go man-to-man against Mitchell and against Clanton Pimentel tonight and try to eliminate them and also make them pay on the other end. In the width, that's going to be a masterful matchup to watch this evening.
It is, and it's such a contrast in styles too, right? Because we've talked about how this UVA team is huge pretty much front to back, and that includes especially across the back. Well, Jalen Mitchell and Ryan Clanton Pimentel are not the biggest guys in the world, but they're extremely quick and very, very creative. So you've sort of got size against speed, except the big guys for Virginia can also run. So it's a mismatch of styles, and it's a matter of which style prevails over the other.
The Cavaliers last time out, what a win over Clemson at home. Just overwhelmed that Clemson team a week ago, 4-0. And Nick Simmons, the freshman, picked up the hat trick. It was the first hat trick since 2012 for a UV player at all, and the first hat trick for a UVA freshman since 2009.
Right, and it's not like the word wasn't out about Nick Simmons. Everybody knows who this guy is. And to do what he did is remarkable, and to do it against a team like Clemson is even better, because remember, it wasn't that long ago Clemson was ranked #2 in the country. Clemson is an exceptional team, and Nick Simmons and the Cavaliers absolutely put on a show that night.
Clemson was #2 in the country when they came to SMU. A 1-1 draw. Great tackle by Brunet, and he starts something the other way for SMU. The sophomore transfer leaves it at the feet of Sagamonian. The pass was right at him, and he's not able to absorb it, turning it over to the Cavaliers. Jalen Mitchell gets stuck in, takes it away from Dos Santos And then a foul is coming as Dos Santos, who's on 4 yellows already this season, picks up the foul against Brunet here.
Yeah, and you can see Dos Santos talking to Rashawn Clark, the referee, sort of saying, hey, I wasn't trying to run him over. And really a pretty savvy play by Brunet. He gets the ball, sees Dos Santos coming, and really turned into him and almost begged Dos Santos to run him over, and he did. Nothing malicious there. He wasn't trying to hurt anybody, but it was a pretty clever play by Brunet to draw that whistle. And again, Dos Santos making sure the official knew. Just a common foul. Nothing too
Simmons
extreme.
with a one-touch and a pass out to Dos Santos. Landsberg pushing him in the back into the corner. Dos Santos goes back up the near sideline to Parvo and moves it along as the Cavaliers flip the field and look for their first big chance against SMU. Cavaliers averaging 16 shots per game. That's top 15 in the nation. The top 40 in goal scoring. They share the ball so well, top 10 in the nation in assists per game.
That pass by Simmons a moment ago, I think, highlights a very underappreciated facet of his game. I mean, obviously, it's easy to talk about his goal scoring because he scores a bunch, and he's the big target up front. But he's a very underrated passer. He sees the game very well, and on that one, he turned and just one time the diagonal ball through a couple of SMU defenders. He's a very underappreciated passer.
Brunet takes it away again, and now Jalen Mitchell, one of the most dangerous wingbacks in the country, gets sandwiched. Good defending there by Virginia to box him in, and Nick Dang is the one to take it away.
Yeah, it was a really nice play by the Virginia defense, and when you've got a weapon like Jalen Mitchell coming at you, triple teaming him is a good way to separate him from the ball.
Dang was right there, and then on his back was Humberto Pela. Pela was not going to let him get away either. Cavaliers have made the NCAA tournament all but 2 years under Coach Gail Navach. They'll be back there again this season, of course. They've even got an opportunity possibly to be a top 4 seed if they close out regular season and then into the ACC tournament well, and that gives you home field advantage all the way through the quarterfinals, and you would not have to leave Blacksburg in this case before you move on to Cary if you were able to keep winning.
Yeah, and obviously home field advantage can be a huge advantage for any team, especially at this time of year. The bigger the games get, the more fans come out, the more they get invested in the team. Everybody's playing for home field advantage.
SMU knows they have at least one more home game left as that service over the head of Nick Simmons by Marco Dos Santos. Dos Santos with 8 assists this season, tied for first in the ACC. SMU knows they have at least one more home game. It'll be in the first round of the ACC tournament on Wednesday. The question is who they will play and which seed they will be. Also, if they're high enough, they have a chance of going a couple rounds deep at home in the ACC tournament if they keep winning. As Brunet gets fouled from behind. Little nip at the back from Albin Gashi.
You know, the Virginia coaches are very aware of Brunet and everything he can do, his creativity with the ball, how he's able to hold possession even when he's getting banged around by bigger players. But one of the things they talked about was his ability to draw penalties against the opposition. And here we are less than 9 minutes into the game. He's already drawn a couple of whistles against the Cavaliers.
Cavaliers number 2 in the ACC at this point. The 4-0-3 mark to give them 15 points. Stanford came into the day with 16 points. But right now, the 84th minute, Stanford losing at Berkeley against Cal, 1-0. And even if Stanford's able to come back to get the draw, Virginia can win the league outright if they pick up 3 points here in Dallas.
We talked a moment ago about all the reasons that Cal would love to win that game, above and beyond the fact that you want to win every time you take the field. But one of them obviously also is you want points, you want the crosstown rivalry, and if you can deflate your biggest rival from being the #1 seed and sort of not ruin the postseason, but alter Stanford's seeding and position going into the postseason, There'll be a lot of people in blue and gold getting a little gratification out of that if they can do that to their friends from across town.
And is it possible SMU had something to do with Stanford being bumped down just a peg? Last week, SMU going to Stanford, becoming the first team to shut them out on their home field in a 0-0 draw, and the first team to take points away from Stanford on the road this season.
Yeah, an argument could be made. The Mustangs were hoping to get more than just the 1 point, but anytime you go into Palo Alto and shut out the Cardinal, there's a lot of positives to take out of that kind of performance. Sure, they would love to have come away with a victory, but they're pretty proud of getting a tie out there as well.
There you see. Draw helping SMU get up to number 30 in the latest RPI. Virginia comes in number 7 in the RPI into this evening affair. And a chance at some more quality games, not only tonight, but whomever they play on Wednesday as well. But the SMU Mustangs, they really seem to be a different team at home than they have been on the road. And what do you think has led to that for this team? They've averaged just about 0.67 goals per game on the road this season, SMU has, and they've been shut out 3 times. Meanwhile, you come home and they're averaging almost 2.5 goals a match.
I mean, you know, part of it is simply the comfort factor, right? I mean, they practice on this field. They know this field inside and out. The lighting feels normal. The backdrop behind the goals and that kind of thing, all of that feels normal. When you play at home, you feel like you're at home, not to mention the fact that, you know, you get to sleep in your own bed and that kind of thing. Everybody wants to play at home for a reason, but you're absolutely right. SMU is a tough enough team to beat on the road, or when they come to your place. Beating them at Washburn Soccer and Track Stadium is a very difficult task for a lot of teams.
Good job to take it away from Jalen Mitchell. SMU has not been able to get out on the switch yet in this one. That's a big part of their offense, being able to switch the field, and it hasn't happened as of yet. Great job to keep it in by Dos Santos. Dos Santos, he gets sandwiched down to the ground, hits Simmons inside the little dummy, hand off to Ulue, who wings it up high over the goal of Martin Dominguez, the first great chance for Virginia.
It is a great chance, and Dos Santos deserves a ton of credit. He gets knocked to the ground, and 2 of the Mustangs fell with him. Dos Santos was the first one back up on his feet, recovers possession, gets it into the middle, and as you said, Nick Simmons steps over it, leaving the shot for his teammate behind him, Ulue, who just blasted one, and Martin Dominguez, the SMU goalkeeper, at the last second pulled his hand down when he realized it was going to clear the bar. Didn't clear it by a whole lot. Very dangerous chance for the Cavaliers.
And SMU keeps so much possession that they just don't typically give up shots on goal. It just does not happen a lot. Having to make less than 2 saves per match this season, that's the 5th least in the country, if that makes sense. And you always want to be right down there at the bottom. Stanford is the team that leads the country in the least amount of saves they've had to make this season.
Yeah, we chatted earlier this week with Adam Perron, the associate head coach at UVA, and we asked him about possession, because these are 2 teams who are very good at maintaining possession of the ball. And he was very respectful of SMU, and he said, I don't know, we'll see who gets more possession. And then he fell back on a quote from Jose Mourinho saying, you take the ball, I'll take the points. As long as they are efficient and productive with the ball when they have it. He didn't sound overly concerned, but he also said there's a very good chance the possession percentages tonight might end up being 52-48, 51-49. It should be pretty close, because these are 2 terrific possession teams.
Yeah, according to First Team Analytics, SMU is in the 92nd percentile in possession in the nation, and Virginia 90th. So these 2 teams very respectable. But Virginia loves that they can beat you in different ways, including offset pieces. You know how big they are. Ulue goes into the box. A couple of header opportunities, but it is offside. The flag was up on the near side as Humberto Pela got the second header on it, but it would not have counted. Let's take a look.
Hey, do you need a trainer?
And Pela goes down. He's looking for looking for the whistle. He got run into by Charles-Emile Brunet, who very quickly came to check on him.
There's a lot of physical play inside the box. Slade Starnes was shouldering off a player as well with a lot of contact, but Pella, the second one in there. You see Sebastian Pop, the center back, coming in to talk to Sean Clark, try to make their case for some kind of foul having occurred inside the box here.
And I didn't see where the contact was. I mean, clearly there was contact between Pella and Brunet. I thought it was more contact in the torso area, but Pella's holding his face or his head. And obviously, we're all hoping he's able to shake this off.
And maybe a contact issue as well.
Oh, that could be. That could be.
With the way they've been paying close attention to his left eye there. Yeah, Umberto Pella, fourth-year senior, the captain from Italy, a big part of this team. Gives SMU a chance to gather around their 11th-year head coach, Kevin Hudson. Pella's going to be okay, and that is huge for Virginia. A player having his best offensive season with 4 goals and 5 assists, but really known more as a possession left central midfielder for Kelnebatch's team.
He does a lot of the same things for Virginia that Alex Salvo does for SMU, right? He's possession, 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 and again, that's not always the sexiest position when you look at a team and look at highlights and that kind of thing. But let me tell you, these coaches would not give either of those guys up.
No doubt, a second-year captain. Pella will be able to stay in the match. He started every game this season. After starting all 18 he appeared in last year as well. Scored a goal against Pitt in the ACC quarterfinals. He's followed that up with another 4 goals this season. Brunet, first to that second ball. Ball back at Salvo, and he has it picked off by Ulue. Goes out wide to Simmons. Ulue moves it along. Here's Pella. Simmons blocked away by Landsberg and up against the wall. Really neat play by Parvu. Cheeky move, but with Jalen Mitchell shadowing him, he mishits the cross attempt and a goal kick for SMU.
You're right. It was a really creative play, and you could see the second he hit it, he just put his head in his hands. He'd love to have that one back because very, very elusive run to get around and get a step of separation, looking to get that cross, and then sort of hit it like my tee shot, fired it into the trees.
15 minutes in here in Dallas, just one shot for Virginia, nothing yet for SMU. A vertical ball, and Lopez feeds it to Sagamonian, one of the best scorers in the league. Dumps it back for Salvo, and SMU looks to build a little bit. Clinton Pimentel sends it back to his center backs. All of them very capable passers, including Wieland Landsberg, who's on it now. Starnes, the captain, senior transfer, who was honored before the game, along with a bevy of other seniors, more than a dozen of them for SMU. With the roster restrictions now at 28, it was a large senior class for SMU this time around.
Right, and when you had all their friends and family out there with them, that team picture needed a wide-angle lens.
Very good move coming off of his line by Casper Moles, who was watching that play the whole way and made a very distinctive move to reach that ball before Stephen Sagamonian could.
Yeah, he's a very smart keeper, and some coaches tend to get a little gray hair and sleepless nights when goalies come that far off the line. I don't think that's the case. I don't think that's the case with Casper Moles. They are very comfortable with him. He's as good a goalie as there is anywhere in the country.
He was an All-American in his freshman season at Kentucky. Spent 3 seasons at Kentucky before making his way to Virginia this season. A step-in starter, missed only 2 games with injury, a concussion issue, but Moles at 6'4" has stepped right in, and he's certainly a guy that has MLS potential after his college days.
Oh, I don't think there's any doubt. I think I don't know that you can say it's likely, but it's it's about as likely for him as you would think for anyone. Being an All-American, the sheer numbers of players make it very difficult to be an All-American. To do it as a freshman is incredibly rare, and to do it as a freshman as a goalie, and think about all the, not only the technical ability you have to display and consistency you have to display, but the maturity and the poise and the composure. To do what he did as a freshman at Kentucky was absolutely remarkable, and obviously he's a fantastic addition to this UVA roster.
Well, the score is final now at Cal. Cal Berkeley takes down Stanford 1-0. And so the #1 team in the nation is knocked off by their arch rival, and the door is wide open for Virginia to win this league.
Right, and Virginia had plenty of incentive coming into tonight already. But now to know that they have a chance to get the #1 seed and the regular season title, as soon as that word reaches the bench, if it hasn't already, that's going to just turn the Cavaliers up one more gear.
Here's Escorcia on the right side. The little Meg trying to reach the ball, not able to. And ball is left behind. Escorcia unable to recover it. Jesus De Vicente having trouble getting out of his own end. SMU with the pressure on now, trying to come up with a key takeaway. This ball in the middle, nearly taken away by Salvo, but racing to it, Marco Dos Santos tries to get it in the direction of Simmons. It is denied. Back to the center circle, but the Cavaliers keep the pressure on. Landsberg with a nice move to step in front of that pass intended for Alex Parver.
Landsberg is so good at that. He reads plays. A lot of times you hear a coach or a player talk about being one step ahead. Landsberg looks like he's always about 3 steps ahead, where he reads a couple of passes and he seems to find himself in the middle of passing lanes before the ball's even struck. He's as good as there is anywhere in the ACC at that.
By the way, if UVA or whoever ends up winning this league, whoever ends up winning at the end of the night gets a first-round bye in the ACC tournament, and then in the second round would be at home. Everybody makes the ACC tournament. Everybody's invited. Not everybody has the exact same road, however.
Right.
As the top half of the teams that don't get byes host the bottom half of those teams. UVA has been exceptional taking the ball away from SMU, but how about Landsberg getting stuck in on a rare slide tackle for him and taking it away from Simmons. Now Landsberg, a great passer inside to Mitchell. The angled run, Jalen Mitchell pops it across looking for a joiner, and Clinton Pimentel just a little bit late.
A terrific run by Mitchell, but you're absolutely right. That play by Landsberg was fantastic.
And that's what started the threat for SMU. Mitchell left all alone, though, in the transition. Let's take a look.
Yeah, Landsberg making the steal and then getting up and keeping possession away from a defender. Beautiful ball threaded between a couple of defenders up to Mitchell, who outran the Virginia defense and then tried to flick across into the center with the outside of his right foot. Gorgeous play, but again, that all started with Landsberg at the back end.
Jalen Mitchell tabbed by his head coach, Kevin Hudson, as a player to watch coming into this season, and he is not disappointed. One of the leaders in the nation in expected threat. Ball for Milton Lopez. He is held off inside the box, and he's called for being the aggressor. Sebastian Pop, hey, he's basically a pro. He came in with years of pro experience from Norway. Transferred in. He's technically a graduate this year at 23 years old, and he has changed things in the back for the Cavaliers.
He has. A lot of times when you bring in a new player, whether it's as a freshman or as a transfer, there's a learning curve and there's a transition stage. He is so mature and so smart, and he sees the game so well. The Virginia coaches noticed his maturity and his ability to fit in with everything the Cavs were trying to do right away. He immediately became a fixture in this lineup.
Yep, when he stepped off the plane, they said he looked just like Federer. Looks like Federer, but defends like a Viking. Sebastian Pop. It's the guy that's never talked about in that Cavaliers lineup, but he has been huge as the center back. It's kind of their answer to Slade Starnes, and you know how good he's been for SMU this season. How about Slade Starnes? Second time this season he's been named ACC Defensive Player of the Week after the shutout at Stanford.
Yeah, I mean, the guys who get the headlines and who get talked about are the guys who score the goals or the goalies if they throw a shutout and that kind of thing. But more and more you see coaches prioritizing elite center backs with size and speed because they're the quarterbacks of the defense 9 times out of 10. And for instance, if you're SMU and you're going up against Nick Simmons, you need a Slade Starnes, a big, fast, physical player who can run with a guy like Simmons, because Simmons is going to cause problems for every defense Virginia faces.
Simmons with a push on Slade Starnes. For Slade Starnes, he leads the team in slide tackles. That's his 13th of the season. And Nick Simmons, the freshman out of Midlothian, Virginia, did not like this. Let's take a look.
Yeah, you see step for step. And I understand why Simmons didn't like it because he went down, but that looked like Starnes hit the ball first.
And Slade Starnes has been shown a yellow card.
And so is Nick Simmons.
There it is. So for Slade Starnes, he has cards to play with. That's only his 3rd of the season. If you get 5 in the regular season, you got to miss a game. 2 players on the SMU side and 3 on the Virginia side are on 4 cautions here for the regular season. For Simmons, who they call a coach's dream, it's also his 3rd caution of the season. So he's in good standing. Now this ball was out of play on SMU, so it'll be a throw-in.
I think it's a wise choice by Rashawn Clark, the referee, to hand out a couple of yellows because not only were they deserved, right? There was a hard foul and then there was the shove that was absolutely unnecessary, but these are also 2 of the biggest, strongest guys on the field. And if you let them start wrestling all over the field above and beyond the parameters of the rules, it could start getting really rough. And by handing out those yellows, you're sending a message not just to those 2, but to the other 20 guys on the field as well.
Virginia is a team that has forced opponents into cautions this season and red cards. That's the 42nd yellow card shown to UVA opponents this season. There have also been 5 reds thrown at Cav opponents as well. Here's the throw-in into the box. A dangerous ball headed away. It'll be recovered by the Cavaliers, but a sharp job by Slade Starnes. Starnes going after it again. This time he kicks it away as he goes down underneath the arms of Nick Simmons.
And he went down pretty hard and he threw his arms out. I don't know if he was trying to draw a second yellow.
Great job by Slade Starnes again to win a header. He's 5th in the country in headers won this season. Every ball that's in the air, the 6'4" Slade Starnes, the transfer out of Furman, he thinks it's his.
Right, and it's more than just being tall, right? You got to have timing. You've obviously got to have leaping ability, but there's also got to be an element of bravery and conviction, especially if you're going up against a team as big as Virginia, which is like jumping up between a bunch of, skyscrapers at times. It's not just Simmons. He may be the biggest of them, but the Cavaliers, as we've said, half the starters are 6'2" or taller. So it's more than just size for a guy like Starnes. And so to be as effective and dominant in the air as he is a huge addition to this SMU defense.
Starnes coming in with 107 air duels won this season. That's 5th in the nation, according to First Team Analytics. SMU has a throw-in here. I don't know what type of game you expected. Some of these games, especially at home for SMU, have kind of been track meets. This game has had bursts of energy, but a lot of feeling each other out so far between UVA and SMU.
Yeah, and I think that's a great way to describe it, and I think that's the appropriate way for these teams to play it, because both of these teams can strike and score, but they also both have enormous respect for the ability of their opponent to do the exact same thing. So they will take chances when they're there, but neither team is going to force something with a really reckless run that just simply leads to a turnover and allows the opponent to start heading the other way.
20 minutes remaining in the opening half in Dallas on an absolutely gorgeous night. Two of the best teams in the ACC. Again, Virginia with an opportunity to win the league with a victory tonight and get the regular season championship. Long ball up that left side, and what a beauty it is. The serve across is just a little bit early, and Jalen Mitchell is there to knock it away from Alex Parvu, who was joining. But it's kept in. Pella trying to get a tipped ball through to Parvu. Steps on it. Back to Pella again. A little hold-up play by the captain, and he turns it back to his right center back, Nick Dang. For 6, Virginia has had more of the ball in the early going. They've had the best chance in this one, a shot by Samuel Alue, and now a ball all the way through the box, and Alue was there again. It was just a tip behind him on that excellent centering feed by Marco Dos Santos.
And that kind of centering feed is exactly what set up one of Simmons' goals against Clemson. A low line drive into the box that got deflected. Virginia likes that kind of ball and is proven to be effective with it.
Let's take a look.
Here you see him get around Villads Landsberg, which you don't say very often. And that cross did not miss by much.
And then there was a handball on SMU. It went on Charles Emile Brunet.
And the ball look at flipped up and caught him in the arm.
Look at this restart for the Cavaliers. It's going to be right angle out from about 25 yards. Not out of the realm of possibility for Alden Gauchy to try to go after goal. He has a goal this season, but then he's got a bunch of guys 6'2" or taller. They're going to be crashing in toward the 5'11" Martin Dominguez. A dangerous moment. Instead, it's just a little bit wide by Jesus De Vicente, a left wingback who takes that twirling left-footed shot and tried to go after that near post.
Beautiful, really a hooking shot that went up over the wall and bent down very quickly. Dominguez got to his left quickly to make sure it didn't go in. In fact, I thought at first glance when we saw it live, I thought he had gotten a hand on it and deflected it wide. But a beautiful shot.
First substitution for either side is Mukisa Emmanuel. For a long time this season, he was the leading scorer for SMU with 5 goals, but he's scoreless in his last 6. Comes on for Milton Lopez. A little pressure here, and Dominguez has to get rid of it. He got sped up by the quickness of Samuel Alue. Alue's just so dynamic and brave, and he'll play downhill on you, and Dominguez had to get rid of it. Mustangs immediately take away the throw-in.
You were right that Dominguez got sped up, but that kind of play is where each team benefits from having a veteran goalkeeper who's been through the wars before. It never gets comfortable when somebody like Alue is coming in at 100 miles an hour, but you want a senior, you want a veteran who's done this before when it's a game as big as tonight.
And it is a huge game for both sides. For SMU, a result tonight, especially a win, they would definitely punch their ticket to the NCAA tournament as an at-large team. At number 30 in the RPI, they're likely there anyway, unless they falter in a huge way over these last possibly 2 games of the season. And again, for UVA, they're looking for their first ACC outright title in quite a while. Long run for Mukisa Emmanuel. Look at the way Pop runs right with him and sends it calmly along the moles.
That's exactly what I was thinking. Not only is Emmanuel very fast, but he's fresh. He just came into the game, and Pop was step for step with him on that diagonal run.
Slade Starnes picks up the foul, and remember, he's already on a yellow. And it's going to take a lot for Slade Starnes to pick up his second, but it was a dangerous play, and obviously Simmons took the contact.
Rashawn Clark, the referee, clearly wants to keep control of this game And he also doesn't want to decide it by sending players off if he doesn't have to. I think he handled the first interchange between Starnes and Simmons correctly, handing out the yellow cards. And then sometimes an official can get a message across by talking to the player. And obviously we can't hear from up here what he said, but just reading his body language, it looked like he was pretty clearly saying, no more of that. You know, play the game the right way. Good on him for not throwing Starnes out of the game, unless you're Virginia. But it looks like Clark's patience may be wearing thin on that kind of thing.
You see why Virginia so often forces teams into mistakes and into cautions. They're a physical team. You've got to take risks to play with them, and SMU has taken a couple risks early. Meanwhile, a little shoulder charge here and a play on. Dos Santos continues his way to the top of the 18, and a brave tackle made by Enzo Penozo. Probably the epitome of toughness on this SMU squad.
Yeah, and Dos Santos came up looking for a whistle, and you know, I don't begrudge someone for looking for a whistle when they get taken down, but Enzo Penozo got to the ball a full step before he hit Dos Santos, and the laws of physics tell me that when you hit Enzo Penozo, you're going to end up on the ground. It was a hard play, but it was a clean play.
2 shots for UVA, none for SMU. Nothing on frame as of yet. Here's the rookie Simmons playing give and go. Simmons in short space. Parvu, the one touch down to Uluwe. Turns, rips it. It's off of Salvo. SMU does get the clearance out to Sagamonian and looks to break, but Sagamonian's pass intended for Daniel Escorcia, a little bit behind him.
Yeah, the Cavaliers doing a nice job bringing numbers forward across the midfield line and really sort of attacking with 10 rather than just relying on a front line or a few midfielders to create chances.
Jalen Mitchell's going to be shown a yellow card. And for Mitchell, his second yellow card this season. The card starting to mount a little bit here in the first half. Mitchell beaten by Parvu and grabbed a lot of jersey.
You know, when we talked to associate head coach Adam Perron the other day, we talked about all the cards in Virginia's games, both for the Cavaliers and for the Cavs opposition. And he talked about how in some situations, if a guy gets past a player, they have absolutely no problem at all when their player reaches out, grabs a fistful of jersey and slows him down, because if you don't, then you're setting your defense and your goalie up in a vulnerable position. Well, that's exactly what Jalen Mitchell did right there for SMU. He didn't want the yellow card, obviously, but he also didn't want to leave his defense hanging out to dry. And I think it's a very safe bet that Kevin Hudson and the Mustang coaching staff are not upset about that card at all.
On this reserve, back into the box in the direction of Humberto Pela. It does graze off of him and an SMU player and out. We'll get the first corner of the night for the Cavaliers.
And it's worth noting that Nick Simmons, the 6'4" freshman, just came out of the game. So if you're the SMU defense, that's great, except for the fact that he was replaced by A.J. Smith, who's another 6-foot forward.
Oh, a great ball to the near post, headed away by SMU. Second ball by the Mustangs as well. Landsberg after it, can't reach it. Davis Ente leans into it, and it will be another corner, knocked out by Landsberg. Another chance for the Cavaliers, who most recently, as you mentioned, brought in Reese Miller, Luke Burns, and the 6'4" freshman, or 6'4" junior, I should say, A.J. Smith.
Landsberg, your left outside back, chasing that one all the way over into the right side of the SMU defense to give Virginia the corner. He's been everywhere. I think Landsberg has been fantastic tonight.
Brunet went down like he had been sniped. Not exactly sure what happened to him as the ball ricochets all the way back to the other side, and the keeper, Moles, comes out to play it. But on that corner by Luke Burns, maybe a little bit of a high boot or something.
I'm with you. I was following the ball upfield. I didn't see it.
Brunet.
See Brunet holding his gut there a little bit.
4 fouls aside. 2 yellow cards on SMU, 1 on Virginia. A little bit physical, but not overly so. I would just say more tactical to this point between these two teams, but as the night goes on, I have a feeling the physicality will continue to go up.
I think you're right, and if it gets into a big pushing match, I think that certainly favors Virginia. But you're right, it's a physical game, it's a hard game. These two teams play hard, but neither one plays dirty. You know, we can sit here and make jokes about how Virginia may have stolen some recruits from Tony Elliott in the football office or Ryan Odom in the men's basketball office, because they've got some big dudes, but it's not like they're out there taking cheap shots. These are really good players who just happen to be 6'2", 3'4", big guys.
Speaking of stealing recruits,
yes,
Slade Starnes, the center back for SMU, he was a target of Virginia. And while the coaching staff for Virginia isn't very familiar with Kevin Hudson and the coaching staff for SMU, they're familiar with their capability on the recruiting trail. And Coach Perrin said that's probably the biggest way that we know those guys is they seem to win recruiting battles against us every once in a while, which is hard to do against the Cavaliers.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, it's one thing to beat a little school that doesn't really make many waves on the national radar, but we're talking about the University of Virginia. And, you know, if you beat Virginia for a player, you've done a really good job. If you beat SMU for a player, you've done a really good job, because these are two extraordinary institutions with rich traditions of soccer excellence playing in the best conference in the country. So you got to figure there are an awful lot of good players that want to go play at these schools.
SMU brings in Matthias Dick for the first time to play an outside back spot, and also Stefan Sagamonian is going to sit down for SMU as Landon Hickam comes on for the first time. This is a little bit of a different substitution pattern for SMU. They're without the services of Luis Flores, who has been one of their top 4 strikers this season, so it's going to move Charles-Emile Brunet up the field a little bit to more that secondary striker position.
Right, and Landon Hickam is a guy who, he's a freshman, and on a team this talented, sometimes freshmen have to sort of wait their turn to get into the rotation. And earlier in the season, he picked up a lot of minutes when Alex Salvo was out of the lineup. Well, now, probably going to see Alex Salvo go the full 90 tonight, and you get Landon Hickam in there side by side. It gives him critically important experience against a top team, and you're right, it pushes Brunet forward. Brunet obviously doesn't offer the size of some of the UVA attacking players, but he's so clever and so creative. He is also an absolute handful.
Here's Brunet on the restart. The header toward the back post by Mookie Emmanuel goes wide. The goal kick for Virginia off the first restart opportunity for SMU in the attacking half.
Really nice job. You see Emmanuel, he just jumped a little earlier and he climbed the ladder, and he was a full head above all of those big Virginia defenders, just not able to quite redirect it on frame.
Final 9 minutes of the first half. That's the first shot for SMU. Mustangs coming off of a shutout victory, or a shutout game, I should say, the 0-0 draw against Stanford. And Virginia coming off of a shutout victory themselves against Clemson. Clemson, a tough team to shut out. Earlier this season, after SMU was shut out for the first time in 3 years, Clemson became the team with the longest scoring streak in the country, 40-some-odd games. SMU putting the press on. Knowles dishing it along, but it's kept in deep by Escorcia. SMU trying to get onside. Here's Emmanuel turning on it. Emmanuel throwing it across. Matthias Dick, great distributor. Off to Brunet. Down to Dick at the edge of the 18. For sustained deep pressure for SMU in the attacking third. Matthias Dick right back out to Landsberg. Good job by Virginia to recollect their defense after SMU stole it away on the press.
Nice sustained possession by SMU, and it was created by Mukisa Emmanuel, who the ball was coming toward him, and he was dead to rights about 5 yards off sides and gave himself up, took himself out of the play and allowed his teammates to keep possession.
Salvo on the switch. Get it out to Danny Escorcia, a dangerous link-up player, out wide to Clinton Pimentel. First time that UVA has really had to grind in deep against this dangerous SMU team.
And you spoke early in the game, the first few moments, about how SMU really likes to switch fields going back and forth. They're doing that now, and you can see them trying to stretch out this UVA and create a little bit of lateral distance where they may be able to open up some passing lanes. But on the back end, UVA is basically playing a flat 5 across the back. There's not a lot of room to thread balls through.
Escorcia with the outside of his foot, out to Clanton Pimentel, a little fake, dishes it back, and here's Pinozo, gets it back to Clanton Pimentel. For Pinozo on the overlapping run, edge of the 18, serves it across, straight up in the air, header one down, and then kicked into clearance by Virginia. SMU is able to sustain a little bit of pressure, though, as Escorcia opens it up. And looking for a no-look pass out to Pinozo. Again, it's threaded away.
Easily the best possession of the night here for the Mustangs, who kept it in the UVA end of the field for about 5 minutes straight.
First time they've really been able to ask questions of the Who's this evening. Here's Clanton Pimentel. He's dangerous on the serve, onto his left foot. Pops it out to the top, kicked straight up into the air. Now down, Clanton Pimentel trying to get there, but it falls to A.J. Smith, and he gives it right back to Landsberg. Matthias Dick on the serve all the way across. Escorcia trying to reach it, can't do it, and finally UVA has had enough. And it ends up with a deep SMU throw-in as it's cleared away by Alvin Gashi, nearly a corner, but it will be a very deep throw-in next to the pylon.
Terrific sustained pressure by the Mustangs, but I think you've also got to tip a hat to the Cavaliers defense, who really adopted basically a 5-man line across the back. And what that did was it allowed them to play one guy out wide on each of the wing backs for SMU as they switched sides of the field, and then had 3 really compact defenders in the middle surrounding Emmanuel.
Pinozo to the back post. The header by Clanton Pimentel, who at 5'6" may have won his first header of the season, but it squirts wide. Maybe an exaggeration.
He went up, he climbed the ladder and got up to it. And I think every guy in red out on the field looked back at Rashawn Clark, the referee, saying, hey, that ball went off of Clanton Pimentel and then glanced off the back of a Virginia defender. They were looking for a corner kick. Never mind the fact that their teammate just went up and won a 50-50 ball. They wanted the corner.
I don't think I saw any head taps, but they probably wanted to do that after Clanton Pimentel got up as much as he has all season. More known for burning balls along the ground than he is for doing that. There's Slade Starnes, who lives in the air. This ball straight up into the sky by Nick Dang. Headed along by Starnes once more, and a throw in for Virginia. 4.5 left in the half. So Virginia is down by a point right now to Stanford in the standings. Stanford and Virginia have not played this season, so they'd have to go to tiebreakers to decide who would get the #1 seed in that case.
Obviously, if you're George Gelnovich and the Virginia staff, you have no interest in leaving this to the discretion of tiebreakers. You would like to sort this out here in Dallas tonight.
No doubt about it. You Steve Lansdale, I'm John Little. 4 minutes left in the opening half. Quick restart, and it was not set for play as of yet.
A little too quick of a restart.
So Virginia will have to come back and do it again. As Martin Dominguez continues to maneuver his defenders. Had 4 saves in the shutout against #1 Stanford last time out. This ball all the way across the mouth of the goal. Luke Burns was the one to turn on it, and it drifts harmlessly all the way through and out. UVA thinks it may have gone off of an SMU player, but to no avail for George Gelnovach's Cavaliers.
It's one thing when the ball flies across the mouth of the goal, but this ball rolls all the way across that 6-yard line. That was within a foot or two of about 10 players between these two teams. And you know, both teams are saying, how did we not clear that, or how did we not get a shot?
Now SMU can't clear it. This one back for A.J. Smith, and it is cleared away by SMU. Mustangs getting down on the ground. Looked like it was Landon Hickam to slide into that one. The freshman who is on the Top Drawer Soccer Top 100 freshman list is able to poach it out of the 18 for the Mustangs. Pimentel up to Charles Emile Brunet. 2 minutes left in the first half as SMU looks to get back on the threatening attack. Bonozo misses Clinton Pimentel with that ball. Driven deeper, but A.J. Smith able to take it away. Little one-touch thought by Luke Burns, but it's chopped over the head of his intended recipient on the far sideline. Just an interesting first half, I think, where you haven't seen the full ability of either team come to fruition. Had a lot of those beautiful plays that we've come to know and expect from the two squads as of yet. And it may only take one link up tonight to get the job done, and you don't know when it's coming.
I think you're right, and I think it goes back to what we were discussing earlier, how not that these teams are playing cautiously, but they both know that the other team is so talented and so dangerous that they're trying to be smart and all that, but they may take 20, 30, or in this case 45 minutes sort of feeling things out. And you're right, I think it very well could be a game decided about the one chance where there's a defensive slip or something like that. And we can say we haven't seen the great plays, but part of it is we've seen some really good plays on defense. Those just aren't the ones that show up on the scoreboard.
No doubt, as Matthias Dick, this is going to be a very quick card as he takes down A.J. Smith from behind after Smith had taken it away right in front of his head coach. For Matthias Dick, he has issued his first caution of the season.
Yeah, you see A.J. Smith. I understand why Matthias Dick looked confused by that. That didn't look like a trip. I mean, yeah, he ran into him. To me, that was two guys chasing the ball and their feet got tangled and both guys hit the deck.
Well, when a guy at 6'4", 189 comes crashing to the ground.
That's true. When the ground shakes a little, it tends to get noticed.
Absolutely, it does. And a good decision to keep it away from Emmanuel. 35 seconds left in the first half. One chance for SMU, and Emmanuel waiting on players to join. As SMU will use this as an opportunity to set up for a throw. Emmanuel into the box. Now straight into the air by Pop. The header is just wide by Landon Hickam and held by Casper Moles with just 9 seconds left in the half.
Nice job by Hickam to go up and get ahead on it, but he didn't have much behind it.
And a scoreless first half. This just feels already like an ACC tournament game. The tournament doesn't start for a few more days, not until Wednesday. But these two teams know that they're playing for important positioning, not only for the ACC tournament, but also for the NCAA tournament. Number 6 Virginia with a chance to win the league outright. SMU could finish as high as 2nd. We've decided nothing after the first half in Dallas.
We create community.
Create ideas.
More ideas.
Create legacies.
Moments. Moments to think.
Reflect.
To shine.
Moments to pause.
Moments to stand out.
Orange out.
Orange and blue.
We live in orange and blue.
We live.
We learn.
We grow.
We challenge everything.
And then we build.
We innovate.
We lead.
We are driven by our
pursuits. And our
Our pursuit is endless.
Let's say you woke up with a sore throat and fever. You can wait to see a doctor, or you can sit in a crowded urgent care, or with the medical emergency kit, just match your symptoms to your prescription with your guidebook to feel better fast. Prescribed to you online, your kit treats dozens of common and serious medical issues like strep throat, sinus infection, vomiting, UTIs, and much more. It is like having an urgent care in your home.
Visit urgentcarekit.com/TV, promo code TV.
When three great brands get together, big things happen. Like my new Shaq Lazy Boy recliner from Rooms To Go. Comfortable for me, downright roomy for him.
And I'm 6'5".
Exactly. That's why Rooms To Go has dozens of Lazy Boy recliners in all shapes and sizes.
Perfect for everybody.
Even me. So if you want big comfort without a big price tag, there's just one place to get your perfect recliner. My friends at Rooms To Go. Tell them Shaq sent you.
Where's my mask?
It's a frightening time of year, especially when you're shopping for natural gas. That's why Georgia Natural Gas keeps it simple with great rates and reliable service.
No way.
Dad!
So get our lowest rate of the year. Because these days, simple is just what you need.
The deliciously comforting flavor of Easy Cook and Eckrich smoked sausage tastes like home in minutes. Specifically, the Eckrich home.
Frank, it's starting again.
Coming.
Oh, don't worry, hon. We'll find you a spot.
Hi. Honey, we got another one.
Frank?
Yep. More chairs. Hi. Sorry.
Okay.
Here we go.
Here we go.
Oh, Eckrich lover's coming through.
All right, let's dig in.
Smells good from down here.
Eckrich, the sausage that takes you home.
We make magic all day, all day. Can't stop no way. We make magic. It's what we create. How will I stay? Magic.
Full moon on this Friday, the 13th. Oh, no, I flipped that. 31st. Sorry. The dyslexia got me again. It is Halloween, though. And around the ACC on this last night of ACC action, it's a full slate. How about Cal? What a win for the Golden Bears, taking down the #1 team in the nation, Stanford, putting Stanford on watch of possibly being knocked from the top spot in the ACC. NC State is another team that could win the league outright if things fall their way. NC State, the #4 team in the country, such that stingy defense up on Syracuse 1-0. That is late in the second half. Virginia Tech and Clemson tied at 1. Wake Forest is up on Notre Dame at the half, 1-0. If the season were to have ended coming into the night, which it didn't, Wake Forest would have been coming to SMU for the first round of the tournament, but things in this crowded ACC can change in a hurry. A little later on, it's Duke and North Carolina as well. And that's not all. I mean, we got other games going on tonight, too. It's crazy. Pitt and Louisville, they are scoreless late in the second half of that game. So here's how the standings look, Steve, and you see how crowded it is at the top. Virginia, NC State, both with a chance to win the league outright because of Stanford dropping that game to Cal.
Yeah, and I think you said it perfectly a moment ago when you said tonight's not a tournament game, but it kind of feels like one. I promise you the announcers at Stanford Cal were saying that. The announcers at NC State Syracuse are saying that. This is what happens at this level of soccer at this time of year. Sure, on paper it's not the tournament, but everything, there's so many good teams.
No team has scored 2 goals tonight. It's all been 1 or 0. I mean, if that's not tournament soccer, I don't know what is.
Right, and you think about all the offensive talent on a lot of these teams.
It's unreal.
It means they also have really, really good defenses.
You bet they do. And at the half, we're seeing a defensive battle so far. A lot of questions asked, and they've been answered for the most part. We'll be back with more from Dallas.
We came to Rooms to Go with a challenge. A big one. Create a sectional that looks amazing, feels great, and costs less than $1,000. People said it couldn't be done, said we were dreaming. But Rooms to Go said, challenge accepted. The result? The newest addition to the Drew and Jonathan collection. Crafted for comfort, made for you, and under $1,000. Now this is high style at a low price. Come see everything we're working on. It's Drew and Jonathan for Rooms to Go.
Some firms do it all: divorce, criminal, real estate, and sometimes injury cases. That could cost you. Without the right focus, you may never get the attention you deserve. At John Foyne Associates, we focus 100% on personal injury law. Car accidents, truck crashes, serious injuries, that's it. So when you call us, you're not getting a lawyer juggling different types of cases. You're getting a team built to win for you.
Where's my mask? It's a frightening time of year. Especially when you're shopping for natural gas. That's why Georgia Natural Gas keeps it simple with great rates and reliable service.
No way.
Dad! So get our lowest rate of the year. Because these days, simple is just what you need.
The delicious flavor of Eckrich sausage tastes like home in minutes, specifically the Eckrich home.
Is that the original Eckrich smoked sausage? Have you tried the turkey rope? Beef ropes. Andouille. Jalapeno cheddar. A little smoky.
Eckrich, the sausage that takes you home.
There's flying, and then there's making the most of it with Platinum. There's nothing like arriving early and enjoying it. Nothing like having tea across the pond, a cocktail in Atlanta, and a tranquil place to work in Tokyo, all waiting for you. Nothing like best-in-class cuisine and service to match worldwide, with access to the largest global airport lounge network. There's nothing like Platinum.
Ooh! Ooh! Welcome back into Dallas on the ACC Network. Coming up, we'll be back in color, and we'll have highlights from the first half and a look at stats as well. If we can bump our way back out of the 1950s and into the 2020s again. 0-0 at the half, SMU and UVA.
When three great brands get together, big things happen. Like my new Shaq Lazy Boy recliner from Rooms to Go. Comfortable for me, downright roomy for him.
And I'm 6'5".
Exactly. That's why Rooms to Go has dozens of Lazy Boy recliners in all shapes and sizes.
Perfect for everybody.
Even me. So if you want big comfort without a big price tag, there's just one place to get your perfect recliner. My friends at Rooms to Go. Tell them Shaq sent you.
Where's my mask? It's a frightening time of year. Especially when you're shopping for natural gas. That's why Georgia Natural Gas keeps it simple with great rates and reliable service.
No way.
Dad! So get our lowest rate of the year. Because these days, simple is just what you need.
The Papa John's Jack-o'-lantern pizza's back. We're delivering this pepperoni-topped pumpkin-shaped pizza to your door, so you don't even gotta pause your horror movie. Just don't look under the couch. Nah, I'm just playing. Order the Jack-o'-lantern pizza before it's gone. Papa John's.
For years, everyone thought Verizon had the best network, because they did. But now the best mobile network in the U.S. is T-Mobile. Some fancy experts finished a network test, and T-Mobile sort of opened a can of whoop-up. T-Mobile's network has the most advanced 5G, with more towers, and their signal reaches further than ever. So you can text and Insta-talk and say, "You won't believe where I am." Seriously, where am I? Hey, I got signal.
Like a relentless weed, moderate to severe ulcerative colitis symptoms can keep coming back. Break away to what's possible with Tremfya, with rapid relief at 4 weeks. Many people experienced remission at 1 and even 2 years. Some saw 100% visible healing of their intestinal lining. Serious allergic reactions and increased risk of infections and liver problems may occur. Before treatment, your doctor should check you for infections and TB. Tell your doctor if you have an infection, flu-like symptoms, or if you need a vaccine. Healing is possible with Tremfya. Tremfya now offers self-administration from the start. Ask your doctor about Tremfya today.
Formula One is not following the script.
Formula One all season long on ABC, ESPN, and streaming on the all-new ESPN app.
Welcome back into Dallas. At the half, the SMU Mustangs and Virginia Cavaliers are scoreless. John Little back alongside Steve Lansdale. Let's take a look at those first half highlights as we'll do that in a moment. But the stats look like this. The shots in favor of UVA on SMU 2-1, fouls 5 apiece in the corners in UVA's direction. You see the yellow cards. SMU's been tagged with 3 and UVA 1. It shows you what a tight first half it's been.
Tight is the right word for it. You rarely see more yellow cards than shots, but it's been tight. It has not been dirty at all by either team.
Nothing on frame for either side as of yet. And as we look at these first half highlights, this is the best opportunity, no doubt, for Virginia by Samuel Ulua.
Yeah, there's a beautiful shot by Ulua that Dominguez refrained from pulling down. Here's a shot just wide. And then this corner gets cleared out. Now Charles-Emile Brunet flicks it into the middle, finds the head of Muki Emmanuel, who climbs the ladder to get his head on it, but unable to turn it back on frame, steers it just a little bit wide.
Who turned the lights off in Dallas? Somebody turn them back on. At the half, the SMU Mustangs and UVA scoreless. This is ACC Soccer. The final half of the regular season is coming up next.
We came to Rooms to Go with a challenge, a big one. Create a sectional that looks amazing, feels great, and costs less than $1,000. People said it couldn't be done, said we were dreaming. But Rooms to Go said, challenge accepted. The result? The newest addition to the Drew and Jonathan collection. Crafted for comfort, made for you, and under $1,000. Now this is high style at a low price. Come see everything we're working on. It's Drew and Jonathan for Rooms to Go.
After an accident, don't let the insurance company dismiss, downplay, and deny your claim. When they're treating you like just another number, you know who to call. Get the strong arm. Call attorney John Foy and Associates.
We've helped thousands get the care and compensation they're entitled to, and we've done it by treating you the way you deserve to be treated. When you call, we'll answer. When you need us, we're there. Get the dignity, compassion, and respect you deserve.
Call attorney John Foy and Associates today.
Where's my mask?
It's a frightening time of year, especially when you're shopping for natural gas. That's why Georgia Natural Gas keeps it simple with great rates and reliable service.
No way.
Dad!
So get our lowest rate of the year. Because these days, simple is just what you need.
Here at Once Upon a Farm, we chose the Capital One Venture X business card. With no preset spending limit, our purchasing power adapts to meet our business needs. And unlimited double miles means we earn more too. What's in your wallet?
Let's go!
You know, they will hire anybody on the ACC network these days. Even the Post Alive. Welcome back into Washburn Stadium in Dallas.
Someone's
SMU
ready to
and
cut
number
some
6
film
Virginia.
there.
Oh, I like it. See that? The old splice and tape days. Man, now we're going way back. At the half, SMU and UVA all knotted up here in Dallas. So here's what's on the line. For UVA, the door is wide open. If they can pick up the 3 points here on the road against a very good SMU team, they'll win the league outright. They'll have a first-round bye in the ACC tournament. Meanwhile, for the SMU Mustangs, they cannot win the league outright. They can finish as high as second. At this point, it would be a tie for second with the likes of Stanford, or could be any other team out there that still has some points. Stanford losing today at Cal by a 1-0 margin. By the way, very late in that NC State-Syracuse match that we talked about, Syracuse, a rare team to score against NC State. The Wolfpack give up only their 4th goal of the season, and Syracuse has knotted it at 1. And so SMU, in order to keep pace in the standings with Syracuse, a team they're tied for 5th with, they need a point, but Syracuse has the head-to-head win against the SMU Mustangs this season. But with the league as jumbled up as it is, and with the point standings so tight, it's one of those nights where we're going to have to go off the air, do the calculations, and get word afterward exactly who's playing who coming up on Wednesday. We do know that SMU will have a home match, and UVA hopes they do not have a match at all.
Yeah, I don't think there's a coach in the country that would object to having a few days of rest and rehab, even if you don't have players with outright injuries. Just about everybody is banged up at this time of year, and a couple days of rest would do any team well.
Cavaliers looking to strike early in the second half, wearing the blues on the road. Really a 1v about 3 run for Samuel Uluwe, and he watches it go over the byline next to Enzo Pinozzo. SMU Mustangs haven't built the kind of possession tonight that they have over the course of the season, but Virginia is a team that can play multiple ways. They can play with the ball at their feet, they can play with you in the air,
and they can beat you in multiple ways.
No doubt. Good job by Salvo to reach that one. It will be ricocheted back into the SMU side. It's kept in, but Clanton Pimentel races to it for SMU. And Clanton Pimentel trying to get one back. Mookie Emmanuel reaches it at the edge of the 18. Sends the crosser all the way in. A little bit of a late ball for Jalen Mitchell, but Mitchell reaches it. Here's Brunet. Brunet backs up on it. And SMU, that deep ball down to the byline, finally able to have one in possession. A race by Mitchell down to the edge, sends it across, and it's popped right into the hands of Casper Moles. But it did go over the line in the process. It's going to be a goal kick anyway.
And that's the second time now, once for each team. Virginia did the same thing right at the end of the first half, getting all the way to the end line and then sending a crossing pass back through the box that seemed to roll through the mouth of the goal. And as a goalie or a defender, when you see that ball rolling through there, it seems to take forever to get out of harm's way.
No doubt.
And you see everybody sort of holding their collective breath.
Virginia, a team that has not been beaten since August the 28th on the road. Meanwhile, the SMU Mustangs playing some of their best soccer of the season. It's been an up and down year, and there is a stoppage. Andy Escorcia taking it away, but on this boot here, he is going to be called for a foul. Let's see what happened. Escorcia, and he ends up getting one of the Virginia Cavaliers along the lower leg.
Yeah, certainly nothing malicious, and Escorcia thought he had pulled off a really nice little sort of pivot move to spin through a defender and come out with the ball.
It's Jesus de Vicente.
There was definitely contact. It wasn't very, certainly didn't look like it was very hard contact. I can understand the bewilderment that we saw there from Escorcia.
Bewilderment's a great word. So Virginia on the free kick will give it to Casper Moles. Tries to bury it in deep toward Nick Simmons. Simmons coming off that hat trick, first for UVA in 13 years. Moved along by SMU on the switch. Landsberg able to cut it back on Simmons. Got to watch that press if you're SMU. Again, the Cavaliers can beat you in multiple ways, including with the press. Good job by Pop to step in. And the Cavaliers able to take back possession. A scoreless match, 4th minute of the second half.
And we talked about how Pop arrived as a seasoned veteran, and we saw him running step for step in the first half with Mookie Emmanuel. And yes, Pop can really run, but he's such a smart player and sees the opposing offense and what it's trying to do so clearly that he sometimes seems to get like a one-step head start. So he finds himself in a really good position. So it looks he's technically very sound, positionally very sound, partly because he reads the opposing offense so well.
Nice move by Pinozzo. SMU will have a throw in. By the way, after NC State and Syracuse played to a draw, Wake Forest is up on Notre Dame 1-0. Ball for Emmanuel in the corner, but they're going to call it offside.
Late flag.
And also, we get a look at Alban Gashi, who is closer to midfield. He was way far away from where that offside was called, so he's not complaining of anything there. Let's see what he saw from Escorcia.
That's what he's complaining about. Escorcia is just using that arm to try to keep his balance as he's got a bigger player sort of leaning on him from behind.
It's one of the best things that Escorcia does, and even the Cavaliers coaches talked about it, using the opponent, even a bigger opponent, almost as a pivot point to run off of.
He keeps such exceptional possession. I mean, look, he's going to be one of the shortest guys on the field in every game SMU plays. But he has
one
learned
of the shortest trick-or-treaters tonight if he was out on the Park City streets.
Sure, okay, let's go with that. But he's had to learn how to handle defenders who are bigger than he is in every game. And he's not very tall, but he's a very strong player.
Oh, yeah.
He's got a very sturdy base. So first of all, he's hard to push over. And secondly, to your point, from what the Virginia coaches talked about, he spins around defenders so closely, he's able to then spin away but get in front of them, so he's able to protect the ball from the guy who's trying to take it from him. It's really a difficult thing to learn, and he makes it look easy.
That's why he's been so valuable for SMU. Missed the first 2 games of the year. Came back in the 3rd game. It really helped to open up the offense for SMU, and he leads the team in assists this season with 6. A little better ball really could have sprung Virginia as De Vicente was trying to get wide, and SMU is able to take it away. A vertical pass, and Emmanuel was offside on the play. SMU averages almost 3 offsides a game, second most in the ACC, and that was definitely the correct call. Pinozzo rolling the dice, throwing that one in the direction of Mookie Emmanuel.
Kevin Hudson applauding. He liked the way that play broke. And I'd like to see that again. When Pinozzo hit that ball, it looked from here. Now, we weren't a straight 90-degree angle, but it looked from here like Emmanuel might have been onside, or at least was very, very close. But that's one of the problems of being insanely fast like Mookie Emmanuel is. You hit the jets, you're going top speed in a couple of steps. Okay, now you've left a defender behind, and it's easy to create the impression for the linesman that you're in an offside position.
Yeah, we don't have numbers on individual offside calls against players, but I think Mookie Emmanuel might lead all ACC players in offsides calls against him this season. He's been caught offside a lot this year.
Yeah, and I think from a coach's standpoint, as long as he also puts a few in the back of the net, you're willing to risk a few offside calls.
No doubt. Great ball outside. SMU with a little possession. Back for Jalen Mitchell from Sagamonian. SMU getting set up. Landsberg not going for the switch, instead going down for Escorcia. Escorcia is taken down on the play, really selling the call here. From this far away, it was a little bit difficult to see how much contact there was. The replay will tell all.
Again, you see Escorcia tied up with a player on his back, just like we saw a moment ago, and there he gets stepped on the left foot.
Yeah, that was tough to see from, but Nick Dang did step on him, inadvertently, of course.
Yeah, I think it was perfectly innocent, but that doesn't absolve him of the violation.
Speeding in the school zone. Don't always mean to. Stephen Sagamonian for SMU standing over it. He's one of the league leaders in goals, but he might end up taking this free kick. Charles Emile Brunet is the other option. As Emile Brunet walks away, it's left to number 30, who strikes it in and back post. SMU saying it went off of a UVA player, and they're right. It's going to be the first corner for the Mustangs. It's like Simmons may have just nicked it. Come off his back there, Steve.
Boy, if he did. Simmons came up saying, no, I didn't touch it. And from that angle, maybe it happened when he was screened from the camera. It certainly didn't look like it.
Well, the call goes SMU's way. Mustangs were deadly on corners last year. They haven't really scored on one this season.
And how about this formation at the corner?
Brunet just off of it as an option. And Escorcia ready to trigger it in. Rolls it back to Brunet. The hard trigger in. The header by Starnes ends up rolling all the way back out. Landsberg drives it in. It's the first shot on goal for either side in this match. Easily won by Moles.
Yeah, Landsberg gave it a ride from deep and didn't really get all of it. Moles had plenty of time to slide over and scoop it up. But you're right, and we've talked at length in this game about how these teams are being so careful to not relinquish chances to their opposition. We're 55 minutes into this game, and that's the first shot on goal by either team.
Sagamonian loses it, but over to his teammate Emmanuel. Has Jalen Mitchell in the width, cutting into the 18. Mitchell along the ground, and it's the second shot on goal. Mitchell did not get all of it, and he looks to the heavens after Casper Moles easily secures it.
Yeah, it's hard enough to get one past Casper Moles even when you crush the ball. But if you bunt it back to the pitcher, it's not going to take much.
SMU playing with a little bit more pressure whenever Mukisa Emmanuel is out there at the striker spot. UVA is able to absorb it here and get it up the field in a dangerous spot for Uluwe. Great job by Salvo to backtrack. Dominguez does not get every piece of this. Pinoza wins it and finds his teammate Escorcia.
What a good job by Escorcia. That, I don't suppose for a moment that Pinoza even knew he was there. I think he was just trying to crank the ball upfield, and Escorcia just stopped it on a dime to keep possession for SMU. Terrific play.
Now here's the pressure by UVA, but as they intercept, it was in a position where Uluwe had not yet put himself back in an onside position. So an offside call against Virginia.
And that's just like the play in the first half with Mookie Emmanuel, where you could see he gave himself up and he ignored the ball and ran back into an onside position. That's what Uluwe had to do here. He was frustrated that he got the call, that the flag went up, but it was absolutely the right call.
As we go deeper and deeper into the Halloween evening here in Dallas. Final regular season game in the ACC for these two squads. Emmanuel trying to reach that ball. He gets tripped up, and we'll see if a card is on its way, and it is going against Nick Dang. That is his 5th of the season. He will miss the next game for Virginia unless this somehow gets rescinded. Nick Dang picks up his 5th yellow.
You see Emmanuel giving good chase, and they, you know, nobody's trying to hurt anyone there. They both got to the ball right about at the same time. But with Emmanuel's momentum carrying him forward and Dang's foot coming through where Emmanuel's ankle was, you can see the frustration on Nick Dang's face. And I get it. He wasn't trying to hurt Emmanuel. He wasn't trying to take him down at all. He was trying to play the ball. And sometimes the other guy's got some speed too. And a little unfortunate for Dang and the Cavaliers. And the Mustangs with a pretty nice opportunity.
I will double check my numbers. But according to the sheet that was turned in before the game, they did have 4 on Dang, and so it should be the 5th of the season.
And Dang and Starnes are absolutely wrestling for space in that penalty area.
Sagamoni in the serve, and it's a good one, whistled in. And SMU looking for some kind of call as Jalen Mitchell goes down inside the 6.
To be fair,
Sagamoni went after the upper 90.
I don't know if Mitchell got decked by one of the Cavs or by one of his own teammates, because Dang and Starnes were absolutely throwing each other around a little bit, both of whom, as you pointed out, playing with the yellow card, so they've got to be careful.
Emmanuel even with his man, and the flag stays down as he's into the attacking third. Emmanuel dishes it back off to Clanton Pimentel, rarely on the right, but he is here. Flips it up over the top. Gets sent back at him, but he's able to win it. Escorcia looking to feed it in. He's back on it, deflected in. SMU with a shot. Emmanuel has it deflected away. UVA wanted the flag to come up. It never did. They were going to let the play continue and review it if it went in the goal. And Emmanuel, the best scoring chance of the night, turned away by Casper Moles.
Yeah, Moles was furious. He clearly thought that Emmanuel was in an offside position. Emmanuel hits a bomb across the mouth of the goal.
And Moles actually never touched it, excuse me.
He never touched it, and that ball was well past him before he even flinched. I can understand why he was upset, because he ended up staring down a Mukisa Emmanuel shot from point-blank range, and he's just fortunate that it was more of a cross or a shot toward the back post rather than a blast straight on the net.
Virginia really hasn't had many chances in the second half. It's been all about SMU's chances. The Cavaliers leaning into SMU territory. Play kind of grinding to a halt. 32 minutes left in regulation. Neither team has played in a week. They should be well rested. Vicente stops on it near side and looks up top. Aaron Price moves it along for Pop. Pop eating up some ground and giving over to Nick Dang. Cavaliers have Altan across the midline. Brunet gets stuck in and takes it away from Gashi, who will get the throw in. Coming in for Virginia, an important player, Brendan Lamb, who was a starter to begin the season, came up with a toe injury, missed 10 games. Very versatile player that comes in for Semi Alue. Changed the shape a little bit for the Cavaliers. Lamb normally a defensive mid-type player as the ball makes it into the box. On the backside, it's moved along to Vicente with a deflected shot, but right in on goal, and Dominguez able to eat it up for his first save.
Yeah, good call on the deflection, because that was a deflection I think that we heard more than we saw. You could hear the double tap or the double contact on the ball, but it didn't seem to really change direction much, so Martin Dominguez was able to swallow it up pretty cleanly.
Dominguez first save of the night. Emmanuel has to hold it up. Now he'll go chasing. Casper Moles whips it up toward Simmons, but SMU Starnes is able to drive it deep. Here's Jalen Mitchell in a dangerous position, trying to get the switch, and he does for Clanton Pimentel on the right wing. Clanton Pimentel racing toward the end line with the service, popped up in the air. It's going to stay in for Charles Emile Brunet. Mustangs continue the possession in a scoreless match. A little over 15 minutes gone in the second half.
The Mustangs have had a few extended possessions one long one at the end of the first half, and now a couple here at the beginning of the second half.
Man down for UVA as SMU continues this possession with an advantage. It is pounded away, and SMU will get a corner out of it. As Pinozo was looking to serve it in, and once more, Alex Parvu is complaining of issues with an eye.
I don't know. Did Brunet get a hand up? Did he get a... Okay, yeah, you see while he's running, his left hand came back up. Looked like a little inadvertent swat on the cheek more than anything. I mean, you can't blame Parvu for trying to sell it and draw a whistle, but...
There's Brunet right next to Escorcia. And it's Brunet serving it in, looking to the top of the 6. It's headed in, knocked away, deflected. SMU's Brunet on it, and it is whisked over the goal.
The Mustangs are screaming for a handball, and I thought I saw one as well. I mean,
Rashawn Clark's not going to review it.
Here's Starnes getting the header.
Would have been there. Right at the top.
Just off the edge of the frame.
Right.
But the entire SMU bench rose up, throwing their hands in the air, and they're all sort of tapping the other hand as if to say there was contact there. The ball was played off a hand. Every single guy on the SMU bench, including the coaches, jumped up to try to help Clark with that call.
SMU with the ball. Here's Sagamonian, tries to flick it into himself in reverse course. Sagamonian, one of the most dangerous men in the conference, gets turned away. And there is a stoppage as UVA ends up with the ball after Simmons ends up on his seat near midfield. And
that's just friendly fire.
Yeah,
the ball came down from Pinozo and then off one of the Cavaliers, and I think hit Simmons in the face.
There's our man to watch in this one, Simmons. By the way, I did want to lean one more time into that yellow card against Nick Dang. I went ahead and double-checked. According to the roster that UVA turned in for this game, they had Nick Dang with 4 cautions, but in the official stats for the year, they only have him with 3. I don't know if possibly he got a caution while on the bench and he wasn't fit. Didn't actually get one in the field of play. I'm not exactly sure what happened there. But that's an important distinction that they're going to have to get looked at, because in the official stats, it kind of surprised me. It's coming in, I saw 3 yellows in 9 games, but on the sheet they turned in, it said 4. So I guess we'll see if Dang is available for the next game or not.
Right, and I mean, it goes without saying they're not going to report more yellows than the guy already has.
Absolutely not.
So, yeah, that's absolutely worth watching. And whoever ends up playing the Cavaliers first is going to be very interested in that, because Nick Dang is a fantastic player and a critical part of this Virginia defense.
So here's Nick Simmons, one of the top players in the nation already as a freshman. And what a lot of people aren't saying out loud is he may not be long for this college thing. I mean, he can play as long as he wants. I mean,
sure,
UVA
he's got 3 more years if
happy
he
to
wants.
have him.
But you can bet there's some MLS teams that would like to have him today. He's not really available today.
No.
But you draw up a striker in a laboratory, he looks an awful lot like Nick Simmons. He's 6'4", he's strong, he's an absolute handful up in the air. He's a great target on corners and set pieces. He's a terrific shooter. He's a very underrated passer. If you're Virginia, you want him playing 1 and 2 touches, not trying to put his head down and dribble at a defender 1v1 very much. But you know what? That's going to come too.
Now, Simmons comes out for injury here, so he could possibly re-enter in the second half. Normally, if you're lifted voluntarily, you're not allowed back in, but he comes out for injury in this case, and it's Stephen Herlock, and evidently these gigantic strikers grow on trees for Virginia, and 6'1" comes in.
Only 6'1"?
with pace. Here's Landsberg looking to the right side, buries it in the corner. Nice job by Clinton Pimentel to hold it up and looks to operate. Feeds it back for Pinozo. He's not looking for the switch. Instead, he buries it deep in the direction of Escorcia, trying to race to it. It'll be a goal kick.
Boy, that sure looked like Brendan Lamb touched it over the end line.
And of course, if he touches it right after it goes over the end line, it doesn't even matter. But yeah, if it was anywhere within the field of play, SMU would have had a corner. Wow! Oh my goodness, Emmanuel nearly took it right off the foot of Casper Moles. Oohs and ahs from this crowd waiting for a goal.
And Moles comes up limping just a tiny bit, favoring his right leg. He blocked it with his left, or he tried to kick it past Emmanuel with his left. So maybe there was a slight twist on that right plant leg.
Backup is Caleb Tunks. Hopefully Moles will be able to go. Former All-American in his freshman season at Kentucky, having an excellent year, giving up just a goal per game.
And he's walking it off at the back end, and he looks like he's sort of shaking it out. It looks like he's still favoring something a little bit.
All right, let's take a look at what happened here as Emmanuel was pressing in on the keeper, Casper Moles.
Emmanuel's, oh, it was his right leg. He tried, and then when Emmanuel tried to block it, I think it was the follow through by Moles. Here you see him swing with his right leg, and that's it. Emmanuel landed on Moles' right foot. So it wasn't necessarily a twist of an ankle or a knee. It was, he caught a cleat in the top of the foot, and everyone who's ever played this game will tell you how much that hurts.
No doubt about it.
But that was inches away from being bunted into the goal.
Mustangs with the better chances in the second half. Shot 7-3 in favor of SMU. This is kind of the definition of growing into a game, isn't it, for the Mustangs?
It really is. They seemed like through maybe the middle of the first half, Virginia was sort of playing more on its front foot, and since then, SMU has found another gear and found a little bit of adjustment that has led to more space down into the flanks on each corner, where they've been able to get some crosses into the middle, and they've spent a great deal more time in the Virginia end of the field than they did in the first half.
It's definitely been tilted toward downtown Dallas in the second half, the southern end. Beautiful 65-degree night. Enzo Pinozo, the center back, running right through center. Deflected ball out to Clinton Pimentel. SMU needs to get on side. Clinton Pimentel all the way across, headed back out by Dang and into the lap of Brunet, so SMU keeps the possession. Vilad Landsberg not afraid to break the line. Landsberg, Sagamonian, one touch out to Mitchell, serves in a curling ball headed straight into the air, and two headers back out, but Salvo recovers for the Mustangs. Right back at Salvo, throws it forward, Clinton Pimentel over his left shoulder, feigning, driving, blocked right back in his body again, but SMU is able to keep control.
For much of the first half, it felt like the Mustangs were trying to figure out how to handle the Virginia attack, and right now it's the Cavaliers who are having questions asked of them, and they're doing a wonderful job standing up to it, but they've been on their back foot, sort of holding their ground, and now we see Simmons coming back in. He was able to shake it off.
Good time for him to come back in, as SMU is going to get a set piece out of the corner. And at 6'4", he comes in for the 6'1", Stephen Herlock. See time waning in this match. A scoreless game from Dallas. 22 minutes to go. SMU gets a corner look. Stefan Sagamonian looks to serve it from the far side. Plays it along the ground. And the pop in. Knocked right back out. Trying to get a break out of it is Virginia. A little bit strong. And now Pinozo crosses up in short space. Tries to bury it deeper. The clearance not far enough away for SMU to get dispossessed. Nice ball for Jalen Mitchell. Throws it in front. Solid job to knock it away to the sideline. Rolling into the corner. SMU trying to get a corner out of it, and instead it will be a Virginia throw as Jesus De Vicente was able to hold off 2 Mustangs in the corner.
Terrific play by De Vicente because he was in a world of trouble, pinned down in the corner, and to be able to keep possession, then play it off of Escorcia, really nice job. Have you ever told someone you called a scoreless game and were very entertained and very excited about it and got sort of a raised eyebrow in response? This is one of those games.
Non-soccer people.
This is one of those games. This has been a fantastic game to watch, and I don't care who Virginia plays and who SMU plays in the postseason. I'm watching both of these teams going forward. They are terrific teams to watch.
Tell me a little bit about each team. What do you like about UVA after seeing them play over the last 70 minutes or so?
I like the fact that when you first look at them, you see sometimes players are referred to as toolsy, which is a fancy way of saying they're big or they're fast or they're strong. And certainly Virginia is all of that.
If they were a candy bar, they'd be king size.
Right, but they're not just measurables. These are really, really good players, and obviously their coaching they receive is as good as any in the country. They play up to their ability level, and SMU is sort of the same way in the sense that, I mean, you look at them physically, SMU's not as big, SMU's not as strong, maybe not as much team speed, although it's very close, but they find the answers that fit the problems that opposing teams play, and I think SMU responds to different styles of opponents really, really well.
In the second half, it's been some of the center backs running. And that one goes off of SMU. Quick throw in. Like Pinozo breaking a line with his dribbling, and Landsberg doing the same thing. It's made the Mustangs more threatening. Brunet sees Mitchell way out wide. Who's going to win the race? Well, in this case, it's going to be Nick Dang playing it over toward the sideline for the Cavaliers.
You said about 5 minutes into this game that the Mustangs needed to switch.
Watch out here. Man falls down, Slade Starnes, 1v1 against the keeper, and it gets out in front of the UVA player, and Martin Dominguez is able to pounce on it. Otherwise, it would be 1-0, as it was the best chance of the game for Marco Dos Santos. Just a heavy touch, Steve.
It is a heavy touch, and it takes, there's a reason a lot of kids don't like to play goalie, right? Because you got to do that. You've got to be above and beyond technically sound and positionally sound. You've got to be absolutely fearless. And Martin Dominguez dives out, swallows this ball up, knowing very well there's a good chance he's either going to eat a shot right in the face, or he's going to get hit by the follow-through of the shooter, or a knee is going to land on him.
Or the ball's going to be behind him.
Or let's start with that. There's a very good chance it's going to be painful. Right. And goalies are just different. There's something in the personality and the makeup that allows players to learn to do that. I tried playing goalie for a while. I was terrible at it, partly because I didn't want to do that. The toughness and the bravery of goalies like Martin Dominguez is something you just can't teach. You can teach positional goalkeeping. You can teach footwork. You can teach what they do with their hands and everything that goes into being a goalkeeper. That you cannot teach.
Got a capable backup in Soren Russell, who began the year as a starter for SMU, started the first 6 matches. As Russell continues to warm up just in case he's needed. Dominguez trying to make sure that jawline is intact, and it is a valuable jawline. Let's face it.
And if you're willing to dive into a play like that, it's gonna take someone dragging you off the field to come out after that.
We've seen Chicklets lost on this field before.
We have. That is true.
Thankfully for Dominguez, Does seem like he has the full set. 19 minutes remaining in Dallas. Keep getting these plays that sneak up on you that all of a sudden become enormous moments in the match. That one was one there with a center back for SMU. Slade Starnes falls down, and it ends up that Marco Dos Santos is 1v1 against the keeper, and if not for a little bit of a heavy touch, it's 1-0. Martin Dominguez on his senior day. He wants to see the crowd into it.
Speaking of the crowd, I think it's worth noting that there are more Virginia fans here than you might have expected. This is not just moms and dads of the players who got on a plane and came down to Dallas. There's a lot of blue and orange in the stands, and I think that's partly a reflection of the fact that Virginia soccer is kind of a national brand.
Oh, for sure.
You know, it's sort of like Miami football. There are going to be some green and orange jerseys in Dallas tomorrow for a football game as well.
Clanton Pimentel trying to take it away, and Aaron Price, the freshman, in a little bit of trouble. Good job to get out of jail and move it along to Brendan Lamb right in the center of the field, and the Cavaliers able to get back up the field. 18 minutes left. No score between SMU and Virginia. SMU able to take it away, and a quick pass out to Emmanuel, who had Moles off of his line. Didn't strike it well, but a good idea even from center field.
You see a little bit of a smile on Emmanuel's face as he looked up, and to your point, he saw Moles offline, and he was thinking, wouldn't it be nice to get a go-ahead goal from about 60 yards out?
Well, Emmanuel, that will be his last moment in this match. Milton Lopez is on after Emmanuel really did some great work. Sagamonian running all over the place as well. SMU making it tough. Salvo with the slide tackle. Back to Pinozo. Buries it deep over the head of Lopez, who gets pulled back, but it's actually Lopez that's called for the foul.
You know, Virginia traditionally has had some great basketball teams. These guys know how to box out. As Lopez was trying to get into the box, and was it Pop was backing into him? No, it wasn't Pop. Yeah, it was Sebastian Pop was backing into him. Sort of looked like a power forward in the low post.
Again, Virginia with an opportunity to win the league outright if they can pick up a victory tonight in Dallas. Another team that had an opportunity to win the league outright was NC State, but they got tied by Syracuse. It's coming right down to the wire. Good sharp play and a redirection, but it only gets as far as Lamb. Ball stays alive right at the feet of Simmons, just a few inches away from a chance at the top of the 18.
Charles-Emile Brunet backtracking to help on that play, tapping the ball back to his defender. And we've seen a lot of that in the midfield tonight from SMU, with Brunet and Salvo and Escorcia coming back and helping out in transition. Helping out in transition isn't just about getting the ball and carrying it forward. It's about helping your defense, and that sometimes involves a very subtle little touch to keep it away from the Virginia shooters.
Virginia with a little sustained possession here. Escorcia leaps into that one, takes contact in the air and goes down. Almangashi called for the foul, and SMU will have the free kick in their own end with under 16 minutes left to play. So will it be a scoreless draw here in Dallas? Will we continue to see teams with an opportunity to overtake Stanford simply not be able to this evening because of draws, or will UVA find that answer? And ricochets right back at Pinozo. Comley, the former walk-on, guides it back up the field. The Cavaliers are going to win a throw-in here, and Jesus De Vicente looking to be fired up by his teammates along the sideline. Cavaliers get a rare throw-in in SMU territory.
And you raised the question about the possibility of a scoreless draw. There's 15 minutes left, which, when you're trying to keep the opposition out of the goal, is an eternity. But if that happens, if this becomes a scoreless draw, think about the job, what that means of this SMU defense. If they throw back-to-back shutouts against Stanford and Virginia, two of the finest teams in the country. That's a spectacular 8 days of defensive soccer. But again, we got 14 and a half minutes to go. We may as well have 14 hours to go.
Because probably the moments this season that have frustrated Kevin Hudson the most have been when his team has conceded goals that they should not have given up. And if you're able to go back-to-back games without doing so, that would be huge. Wow, what a weird deflection that one was, as the ball came forward in the direction of Marco Dos Santos and somehow ends up in the lap of Dominguez again.
Yeah, I think it hit Pinozo, and Dos Santos, you see his hands going up. He's screaming, hey, this guy can't play it back to his goalie.
It's a back pass.
But
evidently not.
Right, but Rashawn Clark, the referee, very quickly reached down and demonstrated the ball just deflected off of Pinozo. He did not play it back to Dominguez, so goalkeeper scooping it up was perfectly within the rules.
By the way, tonight, Wake Forest with a statement against Notre Dame. They're going to pick up 3 points.
How about that?
3-0 with 8 minutes left in that match. That's a team that was at the bottom of the table against a team in the top half of the table.
What a performance by the Demon Deacons.
Meanwhile, Clemson and Virginia Tech. Clemson went up 3-1 on Virginia Tech, and then they come storming back. It's 3-3 with 10 minutes left. So scoring some goals at historic Riggs Field in Clemson.
Those teams have kicked a few field goals in their day.
They have. Here it's 13 minutes left. Each team coming off of a shutout and looking for another. Virginia on the road this season. That's where their only loss this year came. Back on the 28th of August at George Mason. Meanwhile, SMU has scored in 44 straight home matches. Not since September of 2022 have they gone scoreless at home. Good job by Landsberg to step in front of Simmons. Team's getting more comfortable with taking chances, Steve. As Lopez intercepts this one, looks for Sagamonian. Sagamonian flips it in, trying to get Moles to make a mistake, but he secures it.
I think that one carried a little deeper than Sagamonian was looking for, as Milton Lopez was drifting into the box, but he was, as you said, Moles was right there to basically make a fair catch.
Chess match continues here in Dallas. Here's Lamb turning into the defense. The Cavaliers able to scoop it wide. Lamb receives it back in the middle. Nice piece to have back in this Cavaliers lineup as they move toward the postseason. Again, Lamb scoops it along. Nick Dang on the ground, out to Parvu. Parvu drives it in, headed out by Starnes in the direction of Mitchell. Needs to be sharp with it. Landsberg barely able to keep it in, and it deflects hard off of Parvu and out. Parvu, hopefully he'll be all right, but he really walked into that one. And stop the clock for substitution as Matthias Dick comes in for Jalen Mitchell, who played the entirety of the second half. Dick on his senior day, transfer from Sacred Heart, the German, getting a chance to make his mark in the final 11 minutes of this final home regular season match, but SMU has at least one more at home and maybe more this year. Lopez goes down.
And comes back up with a little bit of a smile for drawing the whistle.
Dangerous Clinton Pimentel Finds Sagamonian in the middle. Back to the engine of Brunet. Landsberg as SMU gets an overlapping run from Landsberg. Landsberg's drive is knocked down. And this one sent into touch. It'll be a throw for SMU.
Nice job by Landsberg, not only making the overlapping run, but then jumping to get out of the way as he knew that ball was going to be sent back right at him. He was able to get up and over the ball, thereby getting a throw in back for SMU.
No doubt. Mustangs playing some smart soccer there. Just looking for that magic moment. It won't come here because of an offside. Scorsia is caught behind the final line. For the Mustangs, that's offside call number 3 of the night. UVA with its 11-match unbeaten string, 7-0-4. Unbeaten during conference play. Last time they went unbeaten during an ACC season was 2001. It's been a long time. Good job by Brunet to take this one away. Sagamonian gets sandwiched, leaves it behind him, and is overtaken.
This Virginia defense has done a really nice job of, whether it's Sagamonian or Emmanuel or Lopez, when one of the SMU strikers gets the ball and heads toward the goal, they collapse multiple defenders around him. And it's hard enough to beat one of these excellent defenders, but to have to beat more than one is a really difficult task. And the Cavaliers have done a nice job creating a really compact defensive structure around the SMU strikers.
Landsberg, that second effort sprint to put himself between Parvu and the ball. Eliminate a chance right on the end line for the Cavaliers. Martin Dominguez, 4-1-3 on the season. Looking for his 5th shutout of the season and his 10th of his career. Dallas native who went to Oregon State for his first 2 seasons of college ball. Transferred back into SMU. Sat a season for depth and took over as the starting keeper midway through last season. Wasn't fit at the beginning of this year and was able to come in. As you see, Bakari Tanjagora in for the first time for Virginia. He's a guy that can be lightning, as is this young man, Simmons, able to get the switch out wide. Cavaliers don't see exactly what they want, so they turn it back to Dang. Now in wide space. The ball inside in the direction of Pella. It's pounced away. Mustangs able to take it right back. Landsberg gets rid of it for a clearance out to the midline. Virginia continuing to work this right side. Sharp job by Starnes to take it away for SMU. Virginia held to 3 shots, just 1 on goal tonight. Simmons with the 1-touch down to De Vicente, and SMU able to knock it away by Salvo. SMU wanted the double deflection, they don't get it, but a throw in for Virginia.
I think Alex Salvo's been terrific tonight. He's, Kevin Hudson told us before the game that the Mustangs need him to be visible in transaction, be an option on the ball.
Oh, is this the moment? Simmons all the way across. Tanjagore! Wide open net! He scores! And Virginia goes up 1-0 with 6 minutes left. The Cavaliers are in position to win the league.
Such a nice play by Simmons. He's such a big target. Gets up over the SMU defense, and instead of trying to force a shot on goal, finds his teammate who just came in off the bench. Beautiful shot and a lot of composure before the shot, but Simmons makes this play. Simmons is the one who goes up and gets it and nods it back.
Bakari Tanjagora, only the second goal of the freshman's season. His initial one came in the 6-3 thrashing of Wake Forest, and it may have just given the Cavaliers the ACC championship outright. Just 6 minutes to go in Dallas. Incredible.
Think of how hard that shot is for Tanjagora. He just came into the game. As you said, he's a freshman in a scoreless draw on the road. It would be so easy to get a little too excited and airmail one over the goal or go a little bit wide trying to pick a corner. And he kept his composure, looked like he even took a little bit of a breath, and then just banged it in right underneath the crossbar. Beautiful shot to put the Cavaliers ahead.
And you're exactly right about the header by Simmons. His 4th assist of the year. He's the man that everybody's watching when the ball comes in toward him, and knowing that, he's able to deflect it right back centrally to a beautiful spot for Tanjagora on a night where Virginia has had very few opportunities. Tanjagora makes the best one count. Now Daniel Escorcia is down for SMU with 5 minutes left.
Obviously with 5 minutes left, and you see he's sort of twisting into that. It's like the way he's grabbing looks like maybe he got a knee on the tailbone or something.
Tanjagora's goal, putting Virginia in front in the 84th minute here in Dallas. What a moment. Compose, the 3-star recruit, the number 10 recruit in New Jersey, out of the Pennington School, originally from Senegal, able to receive that pass by Nick Simmons after the service came in from Nick Dang. And now Clanton Pimentel races in, tries to feed it into Sagamoni, and that has been the magic connection this season, and it doesn't quite get there. Virginia was wise to it. That has been exactly what SMU has done to get on the board here of late. Clanton Pimentel up the right side to Sagamoni and inside the box. Clanton Pimentel may have been pulled back, but he'll stay on it. Clanton Pimentel again racing inside. It gets knocked into the air, kept deep by Salvo. Cleared away sharply. Mustangs trying to get the equalizer with 4:03 to go and deny Virginia the outright title in the ACC. Here comes Daniel Escorcia. Escorcia walks. Now looking in. Back for Salvo, and Salvo has it deflected out for a corner. Goshi got in the way.
Now, of course, everyone's coming forward. You've got Viladz Landsberg about 40 yards out, but other than that, you're going to have every red jersey crashing into the net.
Brunei again. On the backside, it's along the ground, but knocked out. Landsberg tries to keep it deep. Starnes in the air. This one's won by Lamb. Matthias Dick able to knock it to himself. Box out Dang. Who's it last off of? It's off of Virginia. 3 minutes left as SMU gets the throw in. These heart-stopping moments from Dallas. Virginia looking for another shutout. An ACC regular season title. Pinozzo taking a chance, and he'll be called for the foul. Parvu's down.
Tell you what, Alex Parvu is he's gonna need to sleep in tomorrow. He has been in the middle of a lot of collisions. whether it's banging into people or taking a step on the ankle or the foot like it looked like right there.
Just getting it as deep as he can is Casper Moles. And the Cavaliers just trying to dig away time here in Dallas and make the 84th minute goal by Bakary Tanjagore stand up. Virginia unbeaten since August. Looks like it's going to stay that way tonight. Landsberg out to Matthias Dick. He's dangerous from here. Quick service in. Headed back out by Pop. Nice job by Dick to keep it in. Lays it along the ground for Brunet. Brunet gives it a ride. Well up and over the top. 1:18 remaining as Charles-Emile Brunet got underneath one for SMU.
You could see the second he hit the ball, he just rocks his head back and looks up. He wants that one back, and maybe in hindsight he'd like to keep the shot lower, or maybe he would like to try to find a teammate across field with a pass. But that feels like an opportunity.
SMU throwing numbers forward. Landsberg with less than a minute left, but he gives it away. Tanjagora, he's got the, right now it would be the game-winning goal. Cavaliers, the chance with the ball. Just trying to bury it as deep as they can. Tanjagore is back on it. Starnes is able to step into it with 30 seconds left. Redirects it for Panozzo. Gives this guy some chance to get down there and drives it deep. SMU still has a game left at home. It will be on Wednesday against a team to be named later. The Virginia Cavaliers will not have to play in the opening round of the ACC tournament. Stanford opened the door, and Bakary Tanjagora stepped right through it. Here's Matthias Dick driving it in. That last-second deflection does it, and the Virginia Cavaliers are ACC regular season champions in 2025. For the first time since their College Cup team of 2019, Virginia wins the toughest league in the United States.
Yellow card at the end there, I'm not sure what for. This is a very impressive performance by Virginia. You know, we talked about all the different weapons they have on both ends of the field. How there's just exceptional talent everywhere, but they're more than just individual talent. They are a tough, mature, obviously very well-coached team, and they are going to be an enormous handful for whoever they see in the postseason.
For most of the night, a well-executed match by the SMU Mustangs. But the Cavaliers get one moment in front of the goal, and a freshman makes it count in Bakary Tanjagora. And this very deep Cavaliers team goes into their bench to get the game-winning goal tonight. What an impressive showing by the number 6 team in the country. And they may be even better than that when it's all said and done at the end of this year. Jesus De Vicente, the transfer from UIC, his first season for Virginia. He's been amazing with a goal and 6 assists. Can't wipe that smile off his face. Impressive showing